had an interesting story which started sometime around, effectively maybe around 2007, when we started actually developing our own LMS based on the Moodle platform. But prior to that, we had AVU, which is the African Virtual University, the World Bank project, which we were using to sort of test how the university could explore using this, helping distant learners, some of the educational technologies that existed at the time. But going into 2007, 2009, we started doing a bit of distance learning via our distance learning center. So we started investigating of developing our own learning management system to help engage our distance learners. The university actually has a face-to-face kind of philosophy. So it used to do things where students have to come in class and interface with lecturers and then they are taught. But as our number of distant learners started to grow, we need to find a way to basically share learning materials with them while we use distance learning centers to engage them face-to-face as well. So we had some of these platforms running, and though they were not maybe fully e-learning, meaning they used some amount of contact hours. At the height of the COVID, we were actually sort of thrust unexpectedly into having to use the learning management system which we were using for our distance learners. We were about 10,000 students at the time to support over 60,000 students. We ran into various challenges, mainly because our server capacity in-house couldn't handle the synchronous lectures. And at the same time, of course, we're a developing country and you have a number of infrastructural challenges when it comes to electricity, power, when you talk about reliable internet from ISPs. So based on that, we sort of rethought the whole idea of hosting our LMS in-house and decided maybe it would be a good idea to try one of these cloud hosting platforms, which was Amazon Web Services. So we towards the end of the COVID, early last year, we migrated our LMS to the Amazon Web Service. So basically, we migrated our LMS to the cloud and then tried to make sure our in-house on-campus infrastructure was good enough to help the students actually access it. We couldn't, towards the reopening, we were caught in between saying the students should stay at home and continuing learning and then coming on campus and then engaging the LMS. We found that a lot of the students said the conditions they have at home were not too conducive for learning, so they would prefer to come on campus. And it showed during the height of the COVID when they were supposed to either fall on their own internet service to engage the learning management platform. So we put in a little work to make sure the internet connectivity on campus and around campus is good enough to support learning via the LMS when they came on campus. So we have ongoing infrastructure expansions to help take care of this. So currently we are on Amazon, and the idea is to try and then have a very good number of synchronous lectures going on. At the height of the COVID, we realized that one of the things that was happening was at the peak of our server resources peaking out, we realized that the servers were restarting when we were hosting it in-house. It was one of the major reasons that we decided to try Amazon Web Services so that we could have a number of concurrent lectures without the servers timing out and restarting and not basically. I thought this would be interesting to other colleagues as well. So this is the current configuration we have on Amazon. We have the LMS itself there together with its database, and it does some amount of storage there, but what we realize is when you have too much storage there and you have the student numbers accessing the storage, it drives up your cost on towards the cloud services. So you would have to find a very, as Ames demonstrated the last time, a very effective and ongoing way of managing how much you leave in the cloud and how much you leave locally for your students to access, or your faculty to access. So basically, this is where we are now. After moving our LMS to the cloud, the next thing on the table is to try and then get our content online, friendly and ready. Currently, there's already a number of teams in the various colleges that use a known process to develop content for face-to-face. The idea is to find a way to transform some of those face-to-face course material into online-friendly material based on some of the insights we are getting from our instructional design course, together with the e-learning champions who are on the course. Currently, we are part of the teams at the colleges and trying to train some of the TAs that are in the colleges based on some of the insights we've gotten through the instructional design course, help other lecturers to transform their notes so that we can upload content to the LMS which can be engaged by the students. There are a number of other strategies that are ongoing on. So towards the university-wide strategy of driving a blended learning approach going forward, the university has set up an e-learning center. My e-learning guide, he was recently appointed last year actually, and he's leading the team of people who are trying to make sure we can do currently about 30% online and 70% face-to-face per course for each program. So every lecturer or every lecturer handling a course is supposed to make sure he engages students 30% online and then 70% face-to-face. So basically, you're supposed to make sure all your lecture notes and course material are available online for the students to be able to access. And then we also realized that the students themselves, there's a gap when it comes to engaging and learning online. And the e-learning director, together with his team, are coming up with a strategy to also develop some form of continuous online and in-person training for the students who need help as far as learning digitally is concerned. Currently, for the faculty, they have both one-on-one and then together as a team, they do one training at the beginning of every semester on how to teach online and how to use the LMS as a refresher course to help them better and more effectively use our LMS to teach the student. And during the semester as well, there are time slots for those who have peculiar challenges to meet face-to-face with some of the instructors if they need help. So basically, this is the strategy and approach my e-learning director, together with his team, are trying to implement to drive the university's agenda of blended learning approach. So looking forward, like I said, the students who are actually going to engage the LMS now that we have it in the cloud and more available and more accessible, complain about not having very good connectivity when they are at home. So the plan is to try and then expand access and coverage of the campus network to help them have very good connectivity both on and off campus, so that when it comes to doing their online and then using the e-resources available on campus, they don't have any challenges whatsoever. We also, through the training we are having and some exposure to other learning management platforms, realize our model needs a number of software integrations to make both teaching and learning a bit more effective and at the same time useful for learners with barriers. So basically, that's one of the things my colleague and I are big here. He's largely in charge of the LMS as far as its upgrade and integrations are concerned. And so we are thinking and looking for new software that we can integrate to basically make teaching and learning more effective and more friendly, more applicable to both staff and students. We're also looking at building an e-resource center at the colleges. The idea is that those of us being trained as instructional designers, together with our Faculty of Educational Studies, who are about 2 or 3 instructional designers already, we are looking at creating e-resource centers across the university where we'll have these instructional designers available to both staff and students so that they can help them better do a bit more with the online platforms that we have. Of course, a lot of this is technology oriented, and therefore both staff and students, we realize, also have a bit of gap when it comes to having digital skills to use and engage the learning management system more effectively. So we are beefing up our IT support, both online and in person, to help both categories of the university, staff, faculty, and then the students to better use the online services. Basically, this is where we are.